If you drink sugar-sweetened beverages or low-calorie sweetened beverages and you're worried about heart disease, then this video is definitely for you. Hello, I'm Dr. James Bogash, publisher of Modern Health Myths, and today we're going to talk about one of the topics that is always a concern when I'm discussing with patients, and that's whether or not we are drinking our calories or if we're cheating Mother Nature by drinking artificially sweetened, even stevia sweetened beverages. So I'm a huge fan of tea and coffee. I've certainly talked about these in the past and done videos, and including show and tell about how or how our family makes tea, because we consume a massive amount of tea on a regular basis. Generally sticking with organic, unsweetened, flavored teas when possible. There are some teas that are just too good, and we can't find them organic, that we will still stick with them. So keep in mind, most people know that sugar-sweetened beverages are not good. Fruit juices are not good. Certainly sodas are not good. Your 600-calorie Starbucks drinks. I remember one time I was at Coffee Bean and ordering a drink, and whatever we happen to order, we always try to modify it to be as low in calories as possible. And I asked the barista about, I was looking at some of the food items and the muffins that had, 400, 500, 600 calories a piece, and had a discussion with her, and she said that like people panic about the calories in those, but never think about the 600, 700 calories that they are drinking in their frappuccinos or whatever it happened to be at that particular place. And you certainly see it coming out of Starbucks, people with the, Trente-sized, it needs a dolly, has its own wheels, and another 2 pounds of whipped cream on top of that, when they probably would have just needed a small just to satisfy that craving. But so sugar-sweetened beverages, anything that has additional calories, we should not be drinking our calories. So then the logical next step would be, well, what about using artificial sweeteners or even stevia to drink our calories, or to drink, get the sensation, but not get the calories? Well, anybody who's watched me for any length of time knows that I am not a fan of any of that. Artificial sweeteners, despite not having good research behind them, are still used all the time. Half the sodas I ever see out anywhere in a can are diet sodas. People still get them despite the fact that they have been consistently linked to increased rates of diabetes, heart disease, obesity, everything we think we're preventing by taking those in. And I've mentioned before that I'm not a terribly big fan of stevia. I will recommend it if somebody needs to use it as a transition away from sweeter beverages to less sweeter, but we shouldn't hang out at a stevia containing drink or product, because I still think you are cheating Mother Nature. I'm not going to go into it in this particular video about why I think that's an issue, because it can get a little complex. It has to do with our taste perception. But just suffice it to say that anytime we try to cheat Mother Nature and have something sweet, we're not fixing a problem, we're creating a larger one. Which all brings me to this particular study, looking at the consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages and low-calorie sweetened beverages on heart disease rates, and as well as death. So they looked at 11 studies, so not a single study, but a meta-analysis of multiple studies. And they found that for each serving per day of sugar-sweetened beverages, it increased risk of heart disease, either events or deaths, by 8%. So we're talking about, like you have 2 a day, that's 16 a day. At least that's pretty significant increased risk of heart disease. And then, so you think, oh, well, that's okay because I'm drinking diet soda. And the low-calorie sweetened beverages were linked to a 7% increased risk per serving per day. So not much of a difference, even though we think we are. This is another one of those reasons why I continue to say that things like diabetes and heart disease are almost entirely preventable. But we continue to make the wrong decisions and continue to increase our risk on top of lowering immune function and everything else that goes along with this. As always, I will post a link to this particular study in the comments section, And make sure you like this video, share it with somebody who you think needs the message, and subscribe to the channel.